And joining me now on Skype to discuss the Niger election is a global affairs analyst, Paul Ejime. Good to have you join us, Paul Ejime. Like we just said in our script there, that this is the first time that there is that democratically transfer of power between. There is a peaceful transfer of power between two democratically elected presidents in that country. But Niger has seen 4 coups since 1960. And they've also had interruptions to the democratic process over time. What do you make of this recent situation in that country as regards its elections?
Well, thank you for having me. It's still work in progress in Niger as far as governance is concerned. You mentioned it, 4 coups. That is successful ones. There were unsuccessful ones. And the country sits at the bottom of UN Development Index ranking, number 89 out of 89. And, this issue of insurgency, there is poverty, there is climate change issues, desertification, and the fact that the country is rich in uranium, gold. But the mining of that uranium is by the former colonial power, France. Which uses it to power, give electricity to about 1/3 of the whole of France, but more than 90% of the territory of Niger do not have electricity supply. So that uranium, which is a very prized mineral, it's used for super power and super nuclear power and nuclear weapons production, but that has not impacted on
Absolutely.
the country.
If I may just quickly jump in here, because that's some of the concerns of Nigerians who basically are worried that, look, no one seems to be addressing the infrastructural deficit in that country. No one is talking about economic development and as well as security challenges. So do you foresee any threat to the prospect of a peaceful transfer of power?
Well, with 100 people dying, in this latest attack, ISIS, Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda, all of them are present in that belt, of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. So it will continue and even, entering Nigerian territory. So that is what is, you cannot have economic development without security. You can't have peace without security. So both will go hand in hand, and it depends on whoever wins this election, this rerun in February 21st, has his job cut out for him. It's going to be very tough to be able to make sure that this insurgency is reined in before you can even talk about economic development. So it's a big, tough work for whoever comes in there. And the region, really will have to put their hands together, all hands on deck, to be able to stem this insurgency so that the region will have peace to be able to talk about economic development.
I was asking what exactly are some of the threats that you foresee to the prospect of a peaceful transfer of power?
Yes, it's possible. They have been living with it for over time. So the fact that, remember, in spite, it was there even before this election. So they managed to come out about 60, turnout was about 69%. So Nigerians are ready to go ahead with their lives. And then if the election can be allowed to hold, by the way, it is happening on the border, along the border with Mali and Burkina Faso. So there will be disruptions, there will be, concerns, there will be uncertainties, but I think it will enable the elections to go. But now the question will be, how do you manage it to make sure that it does not really disrupt governance to the point of bringing the government on its knees? So there will be, I hope, there is hope. That it will be allowed, the election of 21st of February will be allowed to go on, but under very difficult situation.
And if it does go on, there are other issues around this election. There are issues of whether Mohamed Bazoum is a citizen of Niger in the first place. There are issues of who is qualified to even run or who is not qualified to run. What can be done to ensure that with all of these issues in place, political stability is ensured and enshrined in Niger even after this election?
It is to play by the rule. It is to follow the Constitution, follow the electoral laws. I mean, there is nothing anybody can do outside the law. I mean, once they get out of the law, then that is where problem will come. These things will always come. Politicians, in order to gain support, they will bring up issue of ethnicity, religion, and then citizenship. This is not the only place. It happened in Cote d'Ivoire. It's all over the place. And so it will come, but the expectation is that whatever grievances or whatever claim anybody has should be settled in the court of law and not go into the streets of violence. That is what will be the expectation. And one is hoping that, I think Nigerians, they have had more than enough of instability. They have had more than enough of disruption in governance. This is the first time that there will be a peaceful transfer. I think they will do well. Everybody, politicians, the media, opposition, whoever, the civil society, the religious, faith-based organization, and then the region will also, I think they'll be having international observers to look at how things play. And so with all this, that interest of international interest, because a peaceful Niger is good, will be good for Nigeria, a peaceful Niger will be good for ECOWAS, and a peaceful Niger will be good for the region, for Sahel. So it's, everybody is concerned that they get it right.
All right, we'll continue to monitor development before that runoff and during that runoff in February. Global Affairs analyst Paul Ejime, thanks for talking to TVC News.
Thank you for having me.